pas de soleil, 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 pas de soleil.
Chișinău, also known as Chișinău, is the capital and largest city of the Republic of Moldova. The city is Moldova's main industrial and commercial center, and is located in the middle of the country, on the river Bac, a tributary of the Dniester. According to the results of the 2014 census, the city proper had a population of 532,513, while the population of the municipality of Chișinău was 700,000. Chișinău is the most economically prosperous locality in Moldova and its largest transportation hub. Nearly a third of Moldova's population lives in the metro area. Etymology. The origin of the city's name is unclear. A theory suggests that the name may come from the archaic Romanian word Chisla and Noa, because it was built around a small spring, at the corner of Pușkin and Albasora streets. The other version, formulated by Ștefan Ciobanu, Romanian historian and academician, holds that the name was formed the same way as the name of CHIșINăU in western Romania, near the border with Hungary. Its Hungarian name is CHIșiNău, from which the Romanian name originates. CHIșiNău comes from Kis, small, and the Geno, one of the 7 Hungarian tribes that entered the Carpathian Basin in 896. At least 24 other settlements are named after the Geno tribe. Chișinău is known in Russian as Chisinău, while Moldova's Russian-language media call it Chișinău, Kane. It is written Chisinău in the Latin Gagauz alphabet. It was also written as CHIșiNău in pre-20th century Romanian and as Chișinău in the Moldovan Cyrillic alphabet. Historically, the English-language name for the city, Chișinău, was based on the modified Russian one because it entered the English language via Russian at the time Chișinău was part of the Russian Empire. Therefore, it remains a common English name in some historical contexts. Otherwise, the Romanian-based Chișinău has been steadily gaining wider currency, especially in written language. The city is also historically referred to as German, Chișinău, Polish, Chisinau, Ukrainian, Chisinău Romanized, Chișinău, or Yiddish, Romanized, Chișinău. History. Moldavian period. Founded in 1436 as a monastery village, the city was part of the Principality of Moldavia. At the beginning of the 19th century, Chișinău was a small town of 7,000 inhabitants. Russian imperial period. In 1812, in the aftermath of the Russo-Turkish War, the eastern half of Moldavia was ceded by the Ottomans to the Russian Empire. The newly acquired territories became known as Bessarabia. Under Russian government, Chișinău became the capital of the newly annexed Oblast of Bessarabia. By 1834, an imperial townscape with broad and long roads had emerged as a result of a generous development plan, which divided Chișinău roughly into 2 areas: the old part of the town, with its irregular building structures, and a newer city center and station. Between the 26th of May 1830 and the 13th of October 1836, the architect Avram Melnikov established the Catedrala Năstăria Domnului with a magnificent bell tower. In 1840, the building of the Triumphal Arch, planned by the architect Luka Zaushkevich, was completed. Following this, the construction of numerous buildings and landmarks began. On the 28th of August 1871, Chișinău was linked by rail with Tiraspol, and in 1873 with Cornesti. Chișinău-Ungheni Iasi Railway was opened on the 1st of June 1875 in preparation for the Russo-Turkish War. The town played an important part in the war between Russia and Ottoman Empire, as the main staging area of the Russian invasion. During the Belle Époque, the mayor of the city was Karol Schmidt, considered one of Chișinău's best mayors. Its population had grown to 92,000 by 1862, and to 125,787 by 1900. Pogroms and pre-revolution. In the late 19th century, especially due to growing anti-Semitic sentiment in the Russian Empire and better economic conditions in Moldova, many Jews chose to settle in Chișinău. By the year 1897, 46% of the population of Chișinău was Jewish, over 50,000 people. As part of the pogrom wave organized in the Russian Empire, a large anti-Semitic riot was organized in the town on the 19th to the 20th of April 1903, which would later be known as the Chișinău pogrom. The rioting continued for 3 days, resulting in 47 Jews dead, 92 severely wounded, and 500 suffering minor injuries. In addition, several hundred houses and many businesses were plundered and destroyed. Some sources say 49 people were killed. The pogroms are largely believed to have been incited by anti-Jewish propaganda in the only official newspaper of the time, Bessarabets. Mayor Schmidt disapproved of the incident and resigned later in 1903. The reactions to this incident included a petition to Tsar Nicholas II of Russia on behalf of the American people by U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt in July 1903. On the 22nd of August 1905, another violent event occurred. The police opened fire on an estimated 3,000 demonstrating agricultural workers. Only a few months later, the 19th to the 20th of October 1905, a further protest occurred, helping to force the hand of Nicholas II in bringing about the October Manifesto. However, these demonstrations suddenly turned into another anti-Jewish pogrom, resulting in 19 deaths. Romanian period. Following the Russian October Revolution, Bessarabia declared independence from the crumbling empire, as the Moldavian Democratic Republic, before joining the Kingdom of Romania. As of 1919, Chișinău, with an estimated population of 133,000, became the second largest city in Romania. Between 1918 and 1940, the center of the city undertook large renovation work. Romania granted important subsidies to its province and initiated large-scale investment programs in the infrastructure of the main cities in Bessarabia, expanded the railroad infrastructure and started an extensive program to eradicate illiteracy. In 1927, the Stephen the Great Monument, by the sculptor Alexandru Plomatila, was erected. In 1933, the first higher education institution in Bessarabia was established, by transferring the Agricultural Sciences section of the University of Iași to Chișinău, as the Faculty of Agricultural Sciences. World War II. On the 28th of June 1940, as a direct result of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, Bessarabia was annexed by the Soviet Union from Romania, and Chișinău became the capital of the newly created Moldavian Soviet Socialist Republic. Following the Soviet occupation, mass deportations, linked with atrocities, were executed by the NKVD between June 1940 and June 1941. In Chișinău, over 400 people were summarily executed in July 1940 and buried in the grounds of the Metropolitan Palace, the Chișinău Theological Institute, and the backyard of the Italian consulate, where the NKVD had established its headquarters. As part of the policy of political repression of the potential opposition to the communist power, tens of thousands members of native families were deported from Bessarabia to other regions of the USSR. On the 10th of November 1940, a devastating earthquake occurred. The epicenter of the quake, which measured 7.4 on the Richter scale, was in Vrancea Mountains and subsequently led to substantial destruction. 78 deaths and 2,795 affected buildings. In June 1941, in order to recover Bessarabia, Romania entered World War II under the command of the German Wehrmacht, declaring war to the Soviet Union. In the chaos of the Second World War, Chișinău was severely affected. In June-July 1941, the city came under bombardment by Nazi air raids. However, the Romanian and newly Moldovan sources assign most of the responsibility for the damage to Soviet NKVD destruction battalions that operated in Chișinău until the 17th of July 1941, when it was captured by Axis forces. Following the German and Romanian reoccupation, the city suffered from the Nazi extermination policy of its Jewish inhabitants, who were transported on trucks to the outskirts of the city and then summarily shot in partially dug pits. The number of Jews murdered during the initial occupation of the city is estimated at approximately 10,000 people. As the war drew to a conclusion, the city was once again the scene of heavy fighting as German and Romanian troops retreated. Chișinău was captured by the Red Army on the 24th of August 1944 as a result of the Second Jassy-Chișinău offensive. Soviet period. After the war, Bessarabia was fully reintegrated into the Soviet Union, around 65% of its territory as the Moldavian SSR, while the remaining 35% were transferred to the Ukrainian SSR. Two other waves of deportations of Moldova's native population were carried out by the Soviets. The first one immediately after the Soviet reoccupation of Bessarabia until the end of the 1940s, and the second one in the mid-1950s. In the years 1947 to 1949, the architect Alexei Shusev developed a plan with the aid of a team of architects for the gradual reconstruction of the city. There was rapid population growth in the 1950s, to which the Soviet administration responded by constructing large-scale housing and palaces in the style of Stalinist architecture. This process continued under Nikita Khrushchev, who called for construction under the slogan, "Good, cheaper and built faster." The new architectural style brought about dramatic change and generated the style that dominates today, with large blocks of flats arranged in considerable settlements. These Khrushchev-era buildings are often informally called Khrushchevka. The period of the most significant redevelopment of the city extended from 1971, when the Council of Ministers of the Soviet Union adopted a decision on the measures for further development of the city of Chișinău, which secured more than 1 billion rubles in investment from the state budget, which continued until the independence of Moldova in 1991. The share of dwellings built during the Soviet period represents 74.3% of total households. On the 4th of March 1977, the city was again jolted by a devastating earthquake. Several people were killed and panic broke out. After independence, many streets of Chișinău are named after historic persons, places or events. Independence from the Soviet Union was followed by a large-scale renaming of streets and localities from a communist theme into a national one. Geography. Chișinău is located on the river Bac, a tributary of the Dniester, at 47 degrees 0 and 28 degrees 55 E, with an area of 120 kilometers. The municipality comprises 635 kilometers. The city lies in central Moldova and is surrounded by a relatively level landscape with very fertile ground. Climate. Chișinău has a humid continental climate characterized by warm summers and cool, windy winters. Winter minimum temperatures are often below 0 degrees Celsius, although they rarely drop below -10 degrees Celsius. In summer, the average maximum temperature is approximately 25 degrees Celsius, however, temperatures occasionally reach 35 to 40 degrees Celsius in midsummer in downtown. Although average precipitation and humidity during summer is relatively low, there are infrequent yet heavy storms. Spring and autumn temperatures vary between 16 to 24 degrees Celsius, and precipitation during this time tends to be lower than in summer but with more frequent yet milder periods of rain. Law and government. Municipality. Moldova is administratively subdivided into 3 municipalities, 32 districts, and 2 autonomous units. With a population of 662,836 inhabitants, the municipality of Chișinău is the largest of these municipalities. Besides the city itself, the municipality comprises 34 other suburban localities, 6 towns, and 12 communes. The population, as of the 2014 Moldovan census, is shown in brackets. Cities, towns: Chișinău, Codru, Cricova, Durlesti, Singara, Dobrogea, Rivaca, Vadul lui Voda, Vatra. Communes: Bacioii, Brăila, Frumuzica, Straăstănai, Bubieci, Bic, Humălesti, Budesti, Vaduleni, CișișiNău, Foresti, Goian, Colonita, Condrita, Cruzesti, Saraborda, Ghidaici, Gradiesti, Hulboaca, Stacheni, Goianul Nou, Tohatan, Buneti, Cheltuitori, Trusini, Dumbrava. Administration. Chișinău is governed by the city council and the city mayor, both elected once every 4 years. His predecessor was Serafim Urachean. Under the Moldovan constitution, Urachean, elected to parliament in 2005, was unable to hold an additional post to that of an MP. The Democratic Moldova bloc leader subsequently accepted his mandate and in April resigned from his former position. During his 11-year term, Urachean committed himself to the restoration of the church tower of the Catedrala Năstarea Domnului and improvements in public transport. Local government. The municipality in its totality elects a mayor and a local council, which then name 5 praetors, 1 for each sector. They deal more locally with administrative matters. Each sector claims a part of the city and several suburbs: Centru, Codru, Buicani, Durlesti, Vatra, Condrita, Ghidaici, Trusini, Dumbrava, Rascani, Cricova, CișișiNău, Foresti, Goian, Gradiesti, Hulboaca, Stacheni, Goianul Nou, Botanica, Singara, Dobrogea, Rivaca, Bacioii, Brăila, Frumuzica, Straăstănai, Ciocana, Vadul lui Voda, Bubieci, Bic, Humălesti, Budesti, Vaduleni, Colonita, Cruzesti, Saraborda, Tohatan, Buneti, Cheltuatori. Economy. Historically, the city was home to 14 factories in 1919. Chișinău is the financial and business capital of Moldova. Its GDP comprises about 60% of the national economy, reached in 2012 the amount of 52 billion lei. Thus, the GDP per capita of Chișinău stood at 227% of the Moldova's average. Chișinău has the largest and most developed mass media sector in Moldova, and is home to several related companies ranging from leading television networks and radio stations to major newspapers. All national and international banks have their headquarters located in Chișinău. Notable sites around Chișinău include the Cinema Patria, the new malls Moldova, Megapolis Mall, and best-known retailers, such as N1, Fidesco, Green Hills, Forchet, and Metro. While many locals continue to shop at the bazaars, many upper-class residents and tourists shop at the retail stores and at Moldova. Elit, an older mall in the Botanica district, and Sun City, in the center, are more popular with locals. Several amusement parks exist around the city. A Soviet-era one is located in the Botanica district, along the three lakes of a major park, which reaches the outskirts of the city center. Another, the modern Aventura Park, is located farther from the center. A circus, which used to be in a grand building in the Rascani sector, has been inactive for several years due to a poorly funded renovation project. Demographics. According to the results of the 2014 Moldovan census, conducted in May 2014, 532,513 inhabitants live within the Chișinău city limits. This represents a 9.7% drop in the number of residents compared to the results of the 2004 census. Natural statistics. Births, 6,845. Deaths, 6,433. Net growth rate, 412. Population by sector. Ethnic composition. Languages. Religion. Chișinău is the seat of the Moldovan Orthodox Church, as well as of the metropolis of Bessarabia. The city has multiple churches and synagogues. Christians 90.0%. Orthodox Christians 88.4%. Protestant 1.2%. Baptists 0.6%. Evangelicals 0.4%. Pentecostals 0.2%. Seventh-day Adventists 0.1%. Roman Catholics 0.4%. Other 1.0%. No religion 1.4%. Atheists 1.5%. Undeclared 6.1%. Cityscape. Architecture. Chișinău's growth plan was developed in the 19th century. In 1836, the construction of the Chișinău Cathedral and its belfry was finished. The belfry was demolished in Soviet times and was rebuilt in 1997. Chișinău also displays a tremendous number of Orthodox churches and 19th century buildings around the city, such as Suflea Monastery or the Transfiguration Church. Much of the city is made from limestone quarried from Cricova, leaving a famous wine cellar there. Many modern-style buildings have been built in the city since 1991. There are many office and shopping complexes that are modern, renovated, or newly built, including Kentford, Sky Tower, and Union Fenosa headquarters. However, the old Soviet-style clusters of living blocks are still an extensive feature of the cityscape. Culture and education. Tourism. The city is home to 12 public and 11 private universities, the Academy of Sciences of Moldova, a number of institutions offering high school and 1 to 2 years of college education. In Chișinău there are several museums. The three national museums are the National Museum of Ethnography and Natural History, the National Museum of Arts, and the National Museum of Archaeology and History. Events and festivals. Chișinău, as well as Moldova as a whole, still show signs of ethnic culture. Signs that say, Patria Mea, can be found all over the capital. While few people still wear traditional Moldavian attire, large public events often draw in such original costumes. Moldova National Wine Day and Wine Festival take place every year in the first weekend of October, in Chișinău. The events celebrate the autumn harvest and recognizes the country's long history of winemaking, which dates back some 500 years. In popular culture, the city is the main setting of the 2016 Netflix film Spectral, which takes place in the near future during the fictional Moldovan War. Media. The majority of Moldova's media industry is based in Chișinău. There are almost 30 FM radio stations and 10 TV channels broadcasting in Chișinău. The first radio station in Chișinău, Radio Bessarabia, was launched by the Romanian Radio Broadcasting Company on the 8th of October 1939, when the religious service was broadcast on air from the Nativity Cathedral. The first TV station in the city, Moldova 1, was launched on the 30th of April 1958, while Nicolae Lupan was serving as the redactor-in-chief of Tele Radio Moldova. The state national broadcaster in the country is the state-owned Moldova 1, which has its head office in the city. The broadcasts of Teleradio Moldova have been criticized by the Independent Journalism Center as showing bias towards the authorities. Other TV channels based in Chișinău are Pro TV Chișinău, Prime, Journal TV, Publica TV, CTC, DTV, Euro TV, TV8, etc. In addition to television, most Moldovan radio and newspaper companies have their headquarters in the city. Broadcasters include the national radio Vocea Basarabiei, Prime FM, BBC Moldova, Radio Europa Libera, Kiss FM Chișinău, Pro FM Chișinău, Radio 21, Fresh FM, Radio Nova, Ruskoi Radio, Hit FM Moldova, and many others. The biggest broadcasters are Sun TV, Starnet, Mold Telecom, Satellite and Zebra TV. In 2007, Sunday TV and Zebra launched digital TV cable networks. Politics. Electoral and political Chișinău given a higher priority for the center-right parties, in principle AEI. PCRM, the main opposition party, has a large percentage in the city, but its support base in the city is dwindling. Elections. Transport. Airport. Chișinău International Airport offers connections to major destinations in Europe and Asia. Air Moldova and Fly One Airlines have their headquarters, and Wizz Air has its hub on the grounds of Chișinău International Airport. Road. The most popular form of internal transport in Moldova is generally the bus. Although the city has just 3 main terminals, buses generally serve as the means of transport between cities in and outside of Moldova. Popular destinations include Tiraspol, Odessa, Iasi and Bucharest. Rail. The second most popular form of domestic transportation within Moldova is via railways. The total length of the network managed by Moldovan Railway CFM is 1,232 kilometers. The entire network is single-track and is not electrified. The central hub of all railways is Chișinău Central Railway Station. There is another smaller railway station, Revaca, located on the city's ends. Chișinău Railway Station has an international railway terminal with connections to Bucharest, Kiev, Minsk, Odessa, Moscow, Samara, Varna and St. Petersburg. Due to the simmering conflict between Moldova and the unrecognized Transnistria Republic, the rail traffic towards Ukraine is occasionally stopped. Public transport. Trolleybuses. There is wide trolleybus network operating as common public transportation within city. From 1994, Chișinău saw the establishment of new trolleybus lines, as well as an increase in capacity of existing lines, to improve connections between the urban districts. The network comprises 22 trolleybus lines being 246 kilometers in length. Trolleybuses run between 5 o'clock and 3 o'clock. There are 320 units daily operating in Chișinău. However, the requirements are as minimum as 600 units. Trolleybus ticket costs at about 2 lei. It is the cheapest method of transport within Chișinău municipality. Buses. There are 29 lines of buses within Chișinău municipality. At each public transportation stops there is attached a schedule for buses and trolleybuses. There are approximately 330 public transportation stops within Chișinău municipality. There is a big lack of buses inside city limits, with only 115 buses operating within Chișinău. Minibuses. In Chișinău and its suburbs, privately operated minibuses known as rutieras generally follow the major bus and trolleybus routes and appear more frequently. As of October 2017, there are 1,100 units of minibuses operating within Chișinău. Minibuses services are priced the same as buses, 3 lei for a ticket. Traffic. The city traffic becomes more congested as each year passes. Nowadays there are about 300,000 cars in the city plus 100,000 transit transports coming to the city each day. The number of personal transports is expected to reach 550,000 by 2025. Sport. There are 3 professional football clubs in Chișinău: Zimbru and Academia of the Moldovan National Division, and Real Success of the Moldovan A Division. Of the larger public multi-use stadiums in the city is the Stadionul Dinamo, which has a capacity of 2,692. The Zimbru Stadium, opened in May 2006 with a capacity of 10,500 sitting places, meets all the requirements for holding official international matches, and was the venue for all Moldova's Euro 2008 qualifying games. There are discussions to build a new Olympic stadium with capacity of circa 25,000 seats, that would meet all international requirements. Since 2011, CS Femina Sport Chișinău has organized women's competitions in 7 sports. Notable people. Natives. Olga Boncic, known for her role in the French resistance during World War II. Vlad Bileci, politician, lawyer and activist for the unification of Moldova and Romania. Petru Cazacu, Prime Minister of the Moldavian Democratic Republic in 1918. Maria Sebatari, Romanian soprano and actress, one of Europe's greatest opera stars in the 1930s and 1940s. Toma Ciorba, Romanian physician and hospital director. Ion Cutelaba, UFC light heavyweight fighter. William F. Friedman, American cryptologist. Dennis Gatesgory, professor of mathematics at Harvard University. Natalia Gorgio, pediatric surgeon and professor. Sarah Gorby, French Jewish singer. Anatole Jakovsky, French art critic. Boris Katz, computer scientist at MIT. Nathaniel Kleitman, American physiologist. Avigdor Lieberman, Israeli politician. Boris Mintz, Russian billionaire. Louis Milestone, American motion picture director. Sasha Moldovan, American expressionist and post-impressionist painter. Ilya Olenikov, comic actor and television personality. Nina Peckerman, Israeli triathlete. Lev Peseshevsky, Soviet chemist. Andrew Rail, stage name of Andrei Rada, a Moldovan DJ. Yulia Sister, Israeli chemist. Alexander Ulanovsky, the chief illegal resident for Soviet military intelligence, prisoner in the Soviet Gulag. Maria Winetskaja, American opera singer in the 1910s to 1920s. Iona Yakur, Red Army commander executed during the Great Purge. Chaim Yaski, Jewish physician killed in the Hadassah Medical Convoy massacre. Sam Zemery, American businessman who made his fortune in the banana trade. Residents: Dan Balin, musician, singer, songwriter, and record producer. Gheorghe Botezatu, American engineer, businessman and pioneer of helicopter flight. Eugen Doga, composer. Israel Goberg, Soviet and Israeli mathematician. Dovid Canute, poet and member of the French Resistance. Sigmund Mogilescu, singer, actor, and composer. Sunstroke Project, Moldovan representative for the Eurovision Song Contests 2010 and 2017. Zolata Kac, composer and music educator. Twin towns, sister cities. Chișinău is twinned with Alba Iulia, Romania. Ankara, Turkey. Borlange, Sweden. Bucharest, Romania. Chernivtsi, Ukraine. Grenoble, France. Iasi, Romania. Kiev, Ukraine. Mannheim, Germany. Minsk, Belarus. Odessa, Ukraine. Reggio Emilia, Italy. Sacramento, United States. Tbilisi, Georgia. Tel Aviv, Israel. Yerevan, Armenia.
Eu am crezut că e mutat. să vă spun așa.